We're going in by the back entrance. That's so... doesn't matter. Cool, can you imagine the history and, you know, if these floorboards could speak?
I can't even fathom.
Someone said 18...
imagine.
Somebody said 1850 for those windows.
Really?
So...
Brilliant. So this is the Fender Rhodes suitcase piano.
This is a Wurlitzer.
This is a Wurlitzer,
Oh, okay.
and then this is a quartet, an art quartet. This is the area most prone to disaster during a tour.
Yeah, this because we haven't gotten a real stand for it.
Yeah, I noticed you put something out. So what's holding it down then? Some rubber? Rubberized? Oh, a towel.
This is revealing all...
You asked if we had a backdrop, and we don't even have a...
You could just use a selection of towels.
Yeah.
Should we lift that and put that in so it doesn't...
Yeah, this is kind of how I...
You don't want it to fall on someone's feet, do you?
No.
You can rest it. It doesn't really even work that well, what we use.
Right. Does this count as keyboard teching, what I just did there?
Yeah.
Thought so.
You can...
So what is this then? Is this like... This is presumably... orchestrally sounds and stuff?
Yeah, all the stringy sounds, and then all the Farfisa type sounds
Organ
we
sounds.
use.
It does a pretty good, like, kind of like a Selena type string synth, and then it also does a good cheesy organ.
Cool.
Yeah, we had our friend Paul, who's like our neighbor that we were telling you about before, put a little vibrato thing here so that you could put vibrato
Some
on
mods.
Wow.
So
So that person knows what he's doing, doesn't
He really does.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're like Pink Floyd or something.
Yeah, exactly like Pink Floyd.
Sonic experimenters, sonic scientists.
Yeah. So you chose, you wanted to have an orange and a Vox, and then the hire companies provided those for the...
We wanted to have two Voxes, but they were out of... We needed Master Volume 1 so that... You know,
Oh yeah, because they roar, don't they?
yeah, they're
And
really
you need
loud.
Something in line that would absorb that otherwise, right?
Yeah, and we both don't really use that many effects, so...
Because it's all in your fingers.
It's just easy.
I really respect that. That's what I've always said as well.
Yeah, totally. I mean, for us, it's always been like we could never get get a handle around anything.
We're very
too
disorganized.
technical.
Yeah.
You know?
And the other thing is, I found now that when I hit a pedal before a lead or something, then it sounds like a... You know, and I kind of like it a little bit better if it's just turning it up, and then it's kind of more of like a fade up.
Cool. Really, really old school. How do you find England so far? You enjoying it?
Yeah, we love it.
You've been here before?
Yeah, we've always done a little bit better in England than in the States, but I know it's just like difficult, I guess, and it really depends on where you are in the States, what kind of place you can play.
Yeah, I think like when we're here, it feels like, I don't know, it feels like the people who come to the shows are more enthusiastic, less casual fans, maybe.
More singing along.
What do you think that's about then? Because I think England has always been like the tastemaker territory. And so is the plan conquer this island and then springboard from that into the other anglophonic? What's that?
And stay here like the Move.
Oh yeah, that's not bad. Not a bad idea.
Yeah, we should more do the Sparks thing of just like living here and stuff.
Could you see yourself living here?
Trying to.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, we live in New York, and it's very difficult to have like a studio in New York. It's got to be really small. Yeah. So pretty much any other city seems like it must be a little bit easier in comparison to New York.
Do you think that if you had to compare London and New York, I've always said that London is the city that all other cities aspire to be. But then there's New York, which is its own thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I love New York, but...
Can't move away from New York, surely.
Well, the only reason we moved there because it's the closest thing. It was, 40 minutes, 45 minutes away from where we grew up. So that's just where we logically moved to stay close to the folks.
Is that what that brilliant song Church Bells is about then? Is that to do with the difference between Jersey and New York?
Well, we're from Long Island actually, but that was just more of like, I live Upper West Side, so that's like right by Riverside Park. So, and then my girlfriend works in Jersey, so it was kind of like a love song.
And there's a body, so there's a body of water that separates you both.
Yeah, the Hudson River. So then it was like I thought it would be funny to do like Mersey and Jersey side.
I did hear a Mersey pop out of there.
Yeah.
It's like across the river, she's working, and I'm thinking about the Beatles.
Because I wondered if it was, oh, right, so that's really good that you contextualize that, because I think the Spotify lyrics has got it wrong, because they think you're saying Jersey, and it's very obviously Mersey.
It's both, both.
I wondered if it was a transatlantic thing. I wonder whether it's like a transatlantic love story, or whether you were kind of considering, you know, upping and relocating.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be vague enough where
Yeah.
you know, that it just sounds like good words. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good way to write lyrics. You just do the good word.
Yeah.
So I saw you experimenting with some very, very high cymbals. Is that so that your drummer has to stand up and?
It's a shame
we
that those aren't set up.
We just thought that would be kind of a fun thing to do before sound check. You know, get morale up.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
No, I don't.
Just to prove you're not sticks in the mud. And you, yeah.
Yeah, we said they're gonna come in, so let's set up the cymbals really high so that they know that we're a good-natured crowd.
Yeah. Right. That makes sense. Cool. That's working. Is there a support band tonight?
Yes. Yeah. The band Tchotchke, which we've produced. We've produced their first album, and we're kind of working with them on their second album at the moment. Yeah. And they're a great band. 3-piece all-girl group.
They all drummer, singer.
Wow, like Jellyfish. You know Jellyfish?
Sure.
Yeah, you'd love Jellyfish.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your guitars quick.
Cool.
Gibson 12-string, like a 335 type shape.
Yeah. And I think it's like late 60s, but refinished, we think, in the 70s. We don't have any.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this late 70s.
Yeah, it looks 70s.
But I like it.
It's cool. Yeah, you should play it.
Oh, I don't know about that.
It's pretty nice. If I do say so myself.
It's really gorgeous. Oh yeah.
It's pretty good for a 12-string.
Right again. Nailed it. Still got it. I don't care what they say.
Try to do it on the one that only has one string on it.
Which string has it got? Ah, that's all you need though, isn't it?
Yeah, good.
We're experimenting with the.
That's cool. Yeah, so you're doing like the C6D thing, but with one string instead of two, whatever it is he has on his.
Well, we're
calling it the new Nashville tuning. It's just one string.
It's difficult to get that right, actually, isn't it?
For the proper vibrato, proper amount of space.
You need a capo as well, I think, for certain numbers.
Certain tunes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to the big camera and do a little chatty chat, if that's all right with you. Thanks, guys. Can't beat those.
So many wonderful people, but this is the one I love. So many beautiful people.
Good day to you, one and all. It is I, Justin Hawkins, and I'm joined by the Lemon Twigs, who are playing here in, what is it again, the Concord?
Concord 2? I see C2.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true.
Where's Concord 1? Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Brian, my name's Brian.
Michael.
D'Addario.
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 I wanted to ask you about that because your dad's a D'Addario, evidently,
Yes.
and he's also a songwriter, isn't he?
Yes.
He is, yeah. He did a number of records starting in the 70s, all of which weren't released until like the 21st century.
Yeah.
He put them all out.
Save for like Disco Christmas and a few,
He
a
released
few little things, a few little things that he wrote, you know, that were released locally, and then his band released a single locally and a CD in the 90s, but all really independent stuff. And then
He's a great home recording artist.
yeah, all of his records are basically like collections of all the stuff he did in the 70s, all the stuff he did in the 80s, and then kind of put together and released after we started.
Yeah,
the group.
Kind of Emmett Road style, him playing it.
Has that coloured your approach somehow? Because you were saying off camera before we started this that you have a wealth of material where you've just kind of gone in and done it as you feel like it.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to making a record, to avoid deadline pressure and all that sort of stuff, you have like a collection of songs that are already arranged and recorded. Is that based on your dad's experiences and influenced by that?
Maybe. The constant flow of recording and the idea that you just record at home every day, every week, or whatever, that's been something that we've done ever since we were kids, because that's something he always did. And then, and he just recorded whether or not it was supposed to come out, whether or not it was, you know, anything like that.
Yeah. I work with a few musicians who don't actually have any sort of recording facilities or possibilities at home. And I can't imagine what that's like. I can't imagine being a musician and not being able to capture any of your ideas and realize anything.
Yeah, it seems like crazy to have to constantly pay for a studio by the hour, be conscious of that. Well, I think
When you're experimenting.
yeah, exactly, when you're just trying to build a track and try things, and it might take hours to do a bass and to.
Did you ever consider like there's a psychological element to it as well? Because every time we make a record, my brother and I both look at each other and we say, we're never doing this again. This is the last one. We'll do a musical next, or we'll do some other kind of, you know, body of work that doesn't involve this process and these deadlines and all this pressure. And, you know, and I think there's a dopamine release or something when you finish a body of work like that. If you do it in that way, where you just think, thank fuck that's finished.
I mean, when you do it all at once like that?
Yeah, like if you have, I don't know, like the first record we did, we had like 3 or 4 songs where we did it your way.
Yeah.
And we kind of produced everything slowly and methodically and experimented. And then the other stuff we did it in 2 weeks, like the rest of the record and all the B-sides, you know?
Well, this is what we wanted. We've held off from recording actually purposefully after the last record that we just put out, because we decided it would be interesting for us to try the other approach and go in for a month or something like that.
So is a dream is all we know? Is that the result of a prolonged session, or is it lots of different ones that have?
I would say it's probably like 3 separate spurts of periods of recording, and then all kind of put through the same console and stuff and machinery at the end.
Oh, so you mix it in one session at the end?
Yeah, well, it ends up, things get remixed, and they end up kind of, it would sound odd next to the other thing if it sounded totally different, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
And so things like that, it's beyond mastering actually, isn't it? Because I think mastering is something that people use to sort of normalize a sporadic recording session and try and make that, you know, so it flows.
Well, what we've found is that every time we've tried to hand something off to somebody else, it never works the way that we planned for it to. So we kind of gave into the fact that we're just going to have to work hard the whole time. And so concentrating on mixing, and then the more work we've done in the mixing, the less work we had to do in the mastering. And then the more work we did in the tracking, the less work we had to do in the mixing, and then the more work we did in the song.
So when I listen to your stuff, and I'm listening to like the really complicated vocal arrangements and stuff, I think it's impressively mixed, because there are some mixers who would be nervous about having that much sort of sonic information in the sort of vocal register that would distract your ear and take you away from what's thought to be the main melody and stuff. But you guys aren't afraid of that. It's the way you use the stereo image is really cool. But I just wondered if like you get somebody else to mix that stuff, or are you concerned about frequencies, or you just throw everything at it?
Well, we try to do it, and then if we hit a wall, that dude we were talking about, this guy Paul Millar.
Oh, he's the guy that engineered your.
He's just an all-around genius with that stuff. So if we have an issue with, you know, the bass is poking out and we really don't know what to do at this point because it's been mixed onto a 2-track and we can't go back, but we know this is like as good as the mix can be.
Right. So are you making decisions like bouncing like whole vocal banks of harmonies and stuff, and then moving on from that, so you've got enough tape left to do other stuff?
Yeah, we do. We do that a lot. Yeah.
That song, Church Bells, there was a lot of bouncing vocals onto 2 tracks. and a lot of like, okay, what are the most important parts of the vocal arrangement that you want to hear over all the instruments, and making that decision, and then the decision becomes simple, you know.
And he played all the strings and the brass on that song.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah. So we you know, that record is on a 24 track, which is a lot of tracks, really. But we would fill up like 6 cellos of Brian doing it 6 times and then put it onto one track, and then all the trumpets and put it onto one track. Because I think when you're doing those kinds of heavy arrangements, it's like, it helps to have it so stereo like that. You know what I mean? I think.
There's a really great bit when there's a cello and it glides across the stereo image.
Oh yeah.
That's really cool.
Oh.
Is that 6 cellos then, you're saying?
I think
Yeah.
it is, yeah. 6, it's just,
Why did you arrive at the number 6? Was it just arbitrarily chosen, or did you just have 6 tracks left? Or?
I think
it was just 3 parts. You had 3 parts.
3 parts,
and then we doubled them.
It didn't sound very good as 3, so we decided to double it. And I probably went, oh my god, because it probably took so long to do
It
the
takes
3.
such a long time
It's
to do
just,
the
I mean,
Chelsea playing.
I'm no good at it at all, really.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
And
say
so
that.
there's a lot of tape manipulation, slowing things down and then speeding them up because I can't get that high on the instruments. But that creates
what
something.
everyone else does. That's not even cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I hear that kind of stuff on Roy Wood records, so I think of things like that. It makes it okay for me.
It's really good that you're referencing Roy Wood records when you're making records in 2024. So, are you snobby about other sort of music that you hear that comes out in this day and age? Are you kind of like, that's not real because it's not done on tape? Are you kind of like,
No, I'm
Not
not.
really, no. No, go ahead.
Well, I just like things that are like song oriented and like performance oriented and stuff, you know. People who care about chords and stuff like that. You know?
I think, yeah, if there's not going to be the song super, I don't know, like, yeah, we both kind of have that, something can be sold by the performance of it being really, really great, or the song is really, really, really great, or both, and then that's really great.
somebody very wise said to me, it's better to have a horrible recording of a great performance than the other way around.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose having, 24-hour access to your recording facility prevents that, doesn't it?
Well, a lot of the time, we'll record something haphazardly and then kind of have to save it. And I don't know, I think that's just totally true, that you can have like a bad recording or something. There's so many things that I listen to that sound like a trash can, like they're coming out of a trash can or something.
Yeah, and there's something charming about that sometimes, isn't there?
It's
Totally.
hard though when it's your thing to appreciate that, I think, sometimes.
How do you feel about your own music when you listen to it? Have you over-listened to it, or is it kind of, by the end of a process like that, is there still excitement in having finished it?
I feel really good about the latest record because we've been playing the songs live, and occasionally we'll hear one of the recordings and it'll sound pretty different from how we do it live, and I'll still think, oh, I like the way that sounds.
Is that because it's evolved for the audience, or is it because you're forgetting how you did it, or?
I think it's more the forgetting how we did it, and
I think it's also
you kind of like you kind of like
it's evolved for the audience.
We teach it to the band, and they sort of like gradually change it, and
everybody in the group, also the live group, has their strengths and
the way they play the song, right?
right. So and we all kind of switch around. So if somebody has a good feel for a song, and Brian played so many of the instruments on the record. I mean, I've played a lot of the instruments on other records, but this latest one, I didn't. He played so much. So we're kind of doing our versions of.
How does it work then? So the boys on the record is you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, well, we didn't even really know Reza at that time when we did the first.
You're welcome to jump in if you want.
Can you just say hi?
Yeah.
Reza, he's a great catch.
Hi, yeah.
As well as being a great
coordination, yeah.
Good idea.
Cool. What are you guys talking about?
We were just talking about some live stuff too.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you two things, right? So when you're doing all the cello parts and everything, are you just building up one part at a time, or do you plan it on a guitar, or do you chart it out, or how does it go?
There's one song on the album, Sweet Vibration, that is like a very it's a prominent cello part, and I decided ahead of time I was going to just copy the arrangement of the piano in some sense. So I did plan that out,
But not
using a guitar.
Yeah, you're not writing it out.
No notation.
But not writing
yeah.
it out.
It's like you do it the way that you would do a typical overdub
yeah.
of a guitar or a keyboard or something like
Just
that.
get it out.
Yeah.
Build the part that way. And then, so what do you get as information when it comes to sort of having to interpret those things for live? Are you?
Well, I get the finished songs, and then I just listen to them.
So you
and
use your
learn
ear.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was going to ask actually.
That's the only way I know how to.
And you all swap instruments and stuff.
Yeah.
we do that as well.
And then also Brian, when we record the vocals, the harmonies, Brian kind of deals me a part and then gives himself a part. And then we do another 2 parts on top of that, and then double those and stuff. And then when we do them live, he'll send us each our part to practice.
The Sweet Vibration one has a really extended and extensive la 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 part. Goes on for ages. I was very tired one evening, and I decided to try and listen to that record and break it down and analyze what you'd done, and it made me nauseous because I was because I had my head was spinning. I was kind of like I couldn't. To an extent, I thought, I can see what they've done. Oh wait, what? And then.
Oh my God.
Michael, do you want to tell your
That's
your
us in
intro?
I was sick with envy, not for any other reason.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, do you want to tell them your intro to when?
Oh yeah, we
before
played it
Sweet
last night,
Vibration?
and we were kind of fighting about whether or not we should play it at all, and I haven't really enjoyed playing it because it's so difficult to do.
It's just a lot.
Yeah, we all kind of are like,
They're
gosh,
doing
Brian,
it
we
to
have.
appease me.
Yeah. and I don't know. I didn't say anything other than that. I just said, well, this is one that I don't think we played very well, and I don't think we should be.
I don't enjoy.
I don't enjoy playing it, but we're gonna play it, and so you can decide whether or not you think that we do it okay. But I think it's not very good, so something along those lines.
And then we killed it.
No, we really didn't. We played it totally passable, but that people weren't going crazy or anything.
Yeah, because they're standing there with their mouths agape, admiring the arrangement. It's just incredible.
Yeah. Where's it going?
What? Why are they doing this? That sounds like shit.
I love that reaction, though. That's all.
Yeah.
That's
You gotta
not-
try.
Sure.
You gotta.
No,
there has to be some risk when you're doing a show. Sometime,
Totally.
Outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
I think that's true. I think when you go and see a live band, you want to see people operating at the edge of their ability.
Yes.
You guys, it's doing a song that's ridiculous like that. Everything else is just too easy for you. They want to see you sweat. You know? So, how do you release your music, and how does it?
Through a label called Captured Tracks. We were on a label called 4AD before that, which was kind of a little more. I guess it was just we didn't know how to structure it so that it worked for us.
When you say work, do you mean financially or?
Creatively, like with just putting out as much music as we wanted to put out, I guess, and
It was also kind of like
we were just disorganized too, really.
we were disorganized and we didn't know. We weren't as confident in what we wanted to do at that time. We were very young.
Yeah.
Did you feel bullied?
Not bullied, but our second record was not very commercial and not in a way that I'm like, feel super like.
Which one was the second record again?
It was like a musical record.
It's the one about
the monkey, yes.
Go to school.
And so it was a little bit. You could tell that they didn't really.
So they had a different expectation because to do Hollywood was before that.
Yes.
I guess so, but I think the main thing was that we weren't looking at it like we were still making records at home and making lots of recordings like we had talked about how our dad was, and like what we really wanted to do was be like our Stevie Moore or something, where we would put out just music every month or something like that. Now we wouldn't have enough material to do that now because we're on the road all the time.
Yeah.
But if we could get a record a year out, and that was our priority, then we're trying to figure out how to be able to do
But you are an albums band in the sense that you'll do a body of work like that, and like the 9 or 10 tracks that would be a vinyl release is what you're aiming for.
Yeah.
Right.
In terms of how you push it out there.
Yeah.
So you're not. There was a little trend when a lot of bands started doing EPs.
Singles and EPs would work better in today's society because nobody like wants to listen to an album.
Do you think that's because of attention span, or people just consume music differently?
I think attention span has a lot to do with it.
Right.
Speaking from personal experience.
He's a single.
I only collect 7 inches. No, that's not true. But
Yeah.
that's all I've bought on this store is singles.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm for whatever, you know. It's like, however you can wrap up a record and feel like it flows well, or wrap up an EP and feel like it flows well.
I think that what you said is good. Like a shorter record is nice. You know, like the Beach Boys records are pretty short and sweet, and you're like.
There's another similarity with the Beach Boys, isn't there? It's like brothers and then a father who was also a songwriter.
Yeah.
Did your father ever beat you so that one of your ears doesn't work anymore?
No.
Okay.
That's the one, or that's not much of a commonality, the relationship with the father. But I mean,
I saw a lovely tweet that he did, or I think it was an Instagram post, and you guys were in Australia, and he was saying how proud he was of you, but how he was worried, you know, because you're away, and it's such a long way away.
Yeah.
It was something along those lines, you know.
Yeah.
well, our parents are here. Like,
He knows himself.
Our parents are
like
here
worried,
in
okay.
England.
No, I'm
you know,
sure he's
so they
worried.
came here to see a bunch of the shows and stuff.
Oh, cool.
So
yeah,
they,
they'll be
you
here
know.
tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not tonight.
Oh, not tonight. No.
Tomorrow.
Well, welcome to England.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
I think you guys are the best. So have a great show.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
The Lemon Twigs. You want to join in? Justin Hawkins rides again. Again.
Oh, he's setting us up for harmony. I think.
I was kind of doing.
That's what.
This is the international symbol for this is going to be a harmony, so pick a harmony.
Yeah.
Again.
Again.
E7, I think. I normally go for a minor with a ninth in it, but it's cool. Good job. See you on the ice. Nice one. All right.
All right.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.